Uh-huh. 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 Yeah. Blue skies. Sunshine. What a day. Let's take a walk now.
Hello and welcome back to another fine episode of the Weeb Squad podcast. I'm one of your three lovely hosts, Tyro.
It's your boy, He-Man, back at it again with the white vans. You know how it is. Is that dead?
Number 3, Potato Nick.
I knew you were going to do that.
It's your boy, Potato Nick here.
Yeah, I'm bringing back Damn Daniel.
Beautiful. All right. Welcome back, guys. Glad to join you for another episode. Today, we got some spicy topics. But first, we're going to start with our usual stories we got to tell. I'm actually going to go first, mix it up a bit, I guess. I might have gone first last week. I don't remember. It's been a while. We took a little hiatus for Easter and spring break. Hope you guys understand. We wanted to spend time with our families. Anyways, the story I had to tell today is what happened over the past 2 weeks to me. Some of you might not know, but I do want to go to law school and be a lawyer and all that. So, I wanted to meet with my advisor, one, because I needed to meet with him to, be able to register for classes next semester, and two, because I needed to know what steps I should be taking now, being my junior year, if I should, start looking into it or whatnot. And so I emailed my faculty advisor that I was given, and, I didn't receive anything for a week. And I'm like, whatever, it's Easter or something. He's probably busy, maybe, I don't know. But it gets to Monday. It's like a whole week went by, and I haven't heard back from the guy. So I emailed him again. I called him. It left a voicemail. He didn't pick up. And I was like, crap, he's not responding. And classes opened that day as well. So I was able to, or I was not able to sign up for classes because I didn't do a advising appointment yet. But I was supposed to register that day. So the next day, I go to the one of the offices there that helps you with things, and I was like, "Hey, my advisor won't meet with me. I need help." And they said, "Oh, just you're part of the College of Arts and Sciences. Just call their advising department. They'll solve it." Okay, thank you. So I go outside. I call the college's advising department, and they say, "Oh, you want to call your major's advising department, which is political science. You got to call the political science department." So I'm like, okay. They gave me the number. I called them. "Oh, you have to talk with our undergraduate advising associate who was your advisor last semester. He'll help you." I'm like, okay. I call him, doesn't answer, so I email him to just to get a response as soon as possible. Maybe 20 minutes goes by. He emails me back and says, "Hey, sorry this is happening, but I can't help you. So you got to email this guy, and he'll be able to help you." So I email. Yeah. So I email this guy, and finally he's like, "Oh my gosh, this is the worst thing ever. I'll help you out." Not really. He's just like, "Sorry about this, but I'll help you." So he said, "Come by tomorrow at 1, and I'll help you with what questions you have and get you eligible to sign up for classes." So I go in there. I talk to him. He answers my questions about law school. He answers my questions about my minor, and he goes to flag me for being eligible to sign up for classes, and it turns out I already was, even though I wasn't the day before. So I'm like, "Thank you for everything. Appreciate you." Apparently I'm not the only student that this guy advised poorly, and he said, "If you ever need to talk to an advisor again, just message me, not that other guy." And I'm like, okay.
Oof.
But after I leave, I notice my advisor finally emailed me back. Apparently, he must have gotten some sort of warning or something like, hey, you screwed this kid over, or these kids, because apparently I wasn't the only one. Uh, and he said, so sorry you had to go through all that trouble to get advising. I can meet with you tomorrow. And I said, sorry, I already went to a meeting with this guy, so I don't need you anymore.
Oof. Dumpstered his career.
And so yeah, so that was my past like 2 weeks basically. But I signed up for classes. I'm gonna go to the career center tomorrow to look into law school, and all is well so far. So
Nice.
Looking
As for
college
me, you
faculty.
know, these honestly this past week I haven't really had much going on, to be totally honest with you. I mean I am getting a new job though, so that I guess that's something to talk about. I'm not going to go into detail with the company and everything, but in general, I'm going to be a nuclear,
nuclear.
nuclear welder for the United States Navy. It's also union, so it pays amazing. But yeah, I got that going for me. Other than that, you know, I had my physical drug test yesterday. You know, I'm a healthy young white male oppressing people. You know how it is. Uh, honestly, yeah, I haven't done much. I just, you know, work, go home. You know, like the girlfriend, she's been busy. I've been busy just doing stuff around the house. You know how it is. Doing laundry, you know, fixing stuff,
Folding
going
clothes.
shopping. You know, yeah, all that good stuff, you know. Painting the walls. Oh, I also bought a katana. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I got a katana now, so if anyone breaks in, they're getting the white boy samurai up in here. Yeah, that's about it.
Well, I haven't done anything the past 2 weeks either, but I remember I told this in the call before, but one time when I was on my job, I was at the register and it was a little slow day. Uh, like like no one was coming in, so I was just fiddling around behind the register, and I noticed this little knob behind the counter, and I got bored, so I just started like pressing it like out of habit because I'm a little fidgety. So I press it. Then, like 15 to 20 minutes later, a cop shows up and he's like, "Oh, we heard an alarm. We got an alarm from this location. Is everything okay?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, everything's fine. It was probably from next door." And then I realized what I pushed was the safety button in case someone breaks in or someone like tries to rob the place. Because it was a retail store. So I
Oof.
just fucking like spam the fucking safety button as if someone was holding me at gunpoint. That
See,
was
that's
pretty
when you
funny.
just get a gun and shoot them back. But see, the liberals are trying to take the guns away.
Dang it. We're
Um,
not getting political. We're not getting political.
I'm just saying. I'm just
Dang it.
saying.
All right. Let's move on then.
I'm
so
just saying.
recently I don't know how it is for Dylan and Kennedy, but I had spring
Actually,
break.
this spring break's
Oh.
happening right now for people. I think
Oh. Well, my spring break was I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, I don't remember. But let's talk about our spring break memories. You guys got any fond memories of a spring break in the past, maybe during high
Well,
school?
all throughout high school, every spring break I've had. See, I did theater in high school, and basically throughout spring break, we had practice every day for like, oh gosh, they were like 13 to 12-hour days. No, longer. Yeah, longer. No, like 14-hour days. We do like 8 o'clock to 11 p.m. Even if I don't know if that's more than 14 hours, but yeah, the basically my entire spring break back when I was in school was just all theater practice. And it was fun though, you know, we just mess around all day, run through like because we enjoyed what we did. And you're with all your buddies just all day, just messing around, break time, you go out to your cars, drive around the town, get food, whatever. So, spring break was always fun for me. Even though, it's like I was at the school the entire break, it was still fun.
All right. Anything notable that happened to you, Kennedy? Yeah.
You know me, Jonathan. I've never had any friends, so I've never had any spring break fun.
God.
Oh, dang it. That's kind of sad. Anyway, I'll explain my spring break. So recently I had my spring break, like I said, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I don't remember. Pretty standard, I hung out with friends on a few days, played lots of video games. I played League a lot that week. What else happened? Nothing notable happened until that Friday of near the end. So my friend Graham turned 21, and he wanted to go to Pigeon Forge and buy some moonshine. So I was gonna spend the night at his house the night before, and then we just wake up and leave to go to Pigeon Forge, which is a big touristy trap area near us. Where they sell moonshine. They have all these moonshine stores. So I go to his house and I brought my Wii U and we played Smash Bros. But the rule was that if you lost, there were 3 of us. If you were one of the 2 losers, you had to drink. So being the good Christian boy I was, I made sure to win every single match of Smash Bros. Except for 2, because eventually they got sick of losing and changed it to teams, and they were both on a team, so they'd just gang up on me. And even though we did that for I want to say 8 games, they only beat me once out of those 8 games. But so.
Who do you mean in Smash?
King DDD.
That's very unique.
Yeah, he's big and strong and doesn't fly off the map too easily. But that happened, and so then we watched Atlanta because I didn't see the newer episodes, and then we went to bed. We woke up the next morning, and we're like, all right, let's go to Pigeon Forge. So we drive down there. He takes us some weird mountainous road because in Pigeon Forge's interstate is always backed up on the weekends because everyone goes there because there's nothing to do anywhere else. So we decided to avoid that by going all these mountain roads. But that was a long mountain drive, but it was definitely faster than going the interstate. And then eventually we got to Pigeon Forge and we had lunch at the Paula Deen's restaurant. Paula Deen's restaurant was one of the best experiences I've had because you have to reserve a table, and then they'll call you and you go in, and it's all you can eat. But I honestly cannot see how a human being can eat more than maybe 2 plates because it's family style. So you all pick the food together, and then they bring it out, and then you serve it yourself. And we had the ribs and the chicken, and then we had creamed potatoes, creamed corn,
Oh my god.
candied yams, and what was the last one? Mac and cheese. I don't know why we got all starches. There were no
nice southern.
yeah, but Paula Deen, you could literally feel it tasted so good, but your body rejected the food. Your body was literally stop. This is bad for me. You're not making a good choice right now. You need to stop.
No.
Let me just say, you know how at normal restaurants they bring you a basket of rolls or whatever while you wait?
Yeah.
Brought you a basket
They brought out, they were pancakes with biscuits on top, drenched in this butter garlic sauce.
Oh god.
The butter garlic sauce was like a Red Lobster biscuit in liquid form. It was
Christ. Christ.
And that alone right there, I was like, this right here is alone enough calories to last me maybe 2 days right here.
That sounds gross.
But we ate most of it, but we did not touch a second plate. And then on top of that, they give you a dessert. You get a choice of 3 desserts. My 2 friends got the banana pudding, which normally is my favorite dessert besides cheesecake. So normally I would have gotten it too. But I figured, well, I'm here, I might as well get the staple, you know. It's called chocolate butter cake.
Butter.
This
Oh
cake,
my God.
this cake was
Jeez.
probably the best slice of cake I've ever had. But just taking one bite, again, my body was screaming to me, "Stop this! Stop it right now, or we're ditching you." Like it was like, and it's not filling food by any means, but you just kind of, your body just kind of tells you need to stop right now. Like, I didn't leave full, but I left satisfied, and it was truly an experience. We went solely for the experience. I do not believe we went for the food at all. But
I can understand that.
so after that, we went to the moonshine store. He paid $5 to try all the flavors or whatever, and you know, he had the 128 proof one that was like, he after he got done, he's like, I still feel that one. Like, and he bought some coffee flavored one. I've since talked to the guy, and he said that it's a milk based moonshine, and he has a very, very, very slight lactose intolerance, and apparently it came back to bite him.
You need to get that soy moonshine.
Soy moonshine.
No.
But yeah, so we got that. We went to the Alcatraz Crime Museum. I paid for them to get in, and we looked at all the cool like torture methods and whatnot, and how criminals act, what have you. And then we went home. But that was the more eventful part of my spring break, I do have to say.
I have a funny memory of spring break at the high school doing the theater practice. So this is my sophomore year. We did Shrek the Musical, and I'm not going to give out the
Perfect.
person's name. I'm just going to call her, let's just call her Emma, just because, you know, generic white girl name. Now, this year, Emma had a broken ankle. So she was a bigger girl, so she was in a wheelchair with a cast on her leg. That's how she got around. Now, the way our auditorium is built is it's kind of like on an angle, like, you know, to seat all the people. Like you've been in, you know, theaters
Yeah,
before
yeah.
and stuff. It's like on an angle.
Yeah.
So there's a huge aisleway going down to, you know, to seat all the people. And you know, Emma, you know, she had help all day, you know, people walking her up and down and stuff like that. But for some reason, she decided to go down the ramp by herself. And so
Oh no.
just
Sounds
okay,
nice.
so we're on stage, you know. I mean, I wasn't on stage, but you know, there are people on stage, the directors, you know, singing the songs to them, you know, running over the choreography, all that. All of a sudden, we just hear fucking Medea screaming from like a Tyler Perry movie, just just like running down, and just boom, we just hear a loud crash. We look over, and Emma is just
Oh,
she
Jesus.
like just full speed, and you know, her being a heavyset girl, the momentum was probably insane, just going Mach 5 speed down the freaking aisle. And she freaking wiped out at the end. One of the metal chairs got dented, and she like flew 6 feet out of her chair onto the ground. And oh my god, everyone just stopped and stared. It was, oh god.
Ouchie.
Ah. And of course, everyone's rushing over to her. Oh my god, are you okay? Are you okay? Meanwhile, me and my group of friends were just dying, dying of laughter, while the director's yelling at us because, you know, it's not funny.
Oh, poor girl. You were laughing at her.
It was her fault. She was being a dumbass.
All right. Fair enough.
Flew
This,
down.
this isn't really related to spring break at all, but I kind of remember it, and I kind of want to say something. Well, there was this one time, well, when I was graduating high school, we had to go to high school like rehearsal, like graduation rehearsal. So they told us to go to this certain place. Let's call it like the Manhattan like theater. I don't know the exact name, but let's just call it that. So they told us to go to the Manhattan theater. So apparently there's two Manhattan theaters in Manhattan. So I went to the one like downtown, but that wasn't the one we were supposed to go. We were supposed to go one like uptown, like in the east side. And I went to the one downtown. I was like confused, like where is everyone? So I went to the theater and I like showed it to someone. It wasn't a theater, but I don't remember the name, so I'm just gonna call it that. I showed it to I showed it like my paper to someone. They're like, "Oh, we haven't heard of this like here." And then I looked it up on my phone, and I found out that there was another like Manhattan theater. And I was like, "Oh shit!" So I took the train there. It was a hot day, so I also walked, and I was like fucking sweating and shit. I was like in like a vest because I wanted to look nice for the rehearsal. And then when I got there, the rehearsal was over, and everyone was walking out. I was like, "Kennedy, what are you doing here? Why are you so late?" I didn't bother telling anyone. I didn't want to be embarrassed, so I just went inside and got my tickets anyway.
Jeez.
I did good at the graduation though. I didn't need no rehearsal. I'm a natural born actor.
All right. Well, let's move along then, shall we? So our next topic is, you know what, let's skip that one. Let's go to what character we want to see in the newest Smash Brothers game. Recently, Smash Brothers was announced for the Nintendo Switch. People are speculating it's a new game due to all these various reasons and yada yada, rather than a reboot of the Smash for Wii U. So what characters do you guys want to see in Smash Brothers?
Well, I mean, Sans Undertale's already pretty much confirmed.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
What about Tracer Overwatch?
Yes. I can't wait to
Tracer
play.
Overwatch.
I can't wait to play as Tracer Overwatch.
Do you like Tracer Overwatch?
Just have
Smash Brothers.
the entire cast of Ready Player One is just in it.
Exactly. No, Ready Player One, the character, is in Smash Bros.
Yankee King
That's
himself.
the main character's name, right? His name is Ready Player One, right?
Put the Iron
is Player
Giant in
One.
Smash. Spy Kids 3's in Smash. Put
You know the kid from Spy Kids is dating Megan Trainor?
really?
Yeah. And there was a picture of them coming out of a sex shop together with a phallic object.
We should put Steve Buscemi in Smash. Oh, the guys from Pulp Fiction, you know, the duo. Have them be like ice climbers. What else? I mean, the list can go on forever. I mean, Smash is everything. Put Goku in it, you know.
In all seriousness, I would love to see Gordon Freeman in Smash Bros.
No seriousness.
Yeah, he'd be a cool addition, because, you know, you need to represent PC games somehow.
Put the heavy in it.
And I honestly can't think of a more iconic PC character that has something that could be a Smash moveset.
What about Shell?
You know how hard it would be to balance a portal gun in Smash Bros?
I mean, the Freak Fortress server did it well.
I feel like Final Destination would be like just a whole counterpick stage to Shell if she was added. Oh no, I can put 2 portals on the floor.
They put the heavy and medic in or something, you know? Because, you know, the heavy's in every other game.
Except Ready Player One.
Yeah, where is he in that? Actually, I haven't seen that movie yet.
Me neither. Apparently, Gordon Freeman and Shell are in it, though.
Have you seen Spy
And
Kids 3?
Tracer Overwatch.
I have not.
Watch Spy Kids 3 and just put like Tracer Overwatch on the screen.
Why is it like all Spy Kids 3? Is it because of the computer
Because
simulation?
it's literally just fucking Spy Kids 3 without the 3D glasses.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing that in theaters back when 3D glasses were like,
Yeah, I remember it. They used those like over exaggerated like motions for the 3D. Like their hand would reach out onto the screen.
Yeah,
And it was
great.
very clearly like they were like playing it up for the 3D aspect
That
of the
was
movie.
great. That was a magical time in movie making. Where you could just fucking mean mug the camera and it be in 3D.
Does no
That
one
was
I feel like
before
no one
3D.
cares about 3D anymore.
No one cares about 3D. It's all about
The
VR.
last 3D movie I think I saw was one of the Hobbits in 3D. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was definitely The Hobbit for me, but they barely had any 3D effects really.
Yeah, it was
There
just
wasn't really much.
kind of more pronounced. Like you could tell things were closer to you than others, if that makes sense. But
Yeah, so it's not supposed to like pop out at
I
you
remember
and
as a
spook
kid
you.
seeing Meet the Robinsons in 3D, and it gave me a headache. It was so badly done in 3D.
I remember I went to this museum once on like a field trip, I think in like elementary school, and I saw like this 3D fish movie and it made me cry. It was so
Why did it make you go? It was tears of joy out of the
Yeah,
sights of the sea.
Yeah, man, they were talking about the fish. It was so like nice.
You know, this is a great segue into our next topic. Recently, we've been playing a game where you can see the beautiful sights of the sea. That game is Sea of Thieves on the Microsoft Store, Xbox, whatever you want to play it on. And what are our thoughts on the game Sea of Thieves, guys? How do you?
There's only one pair of thieves in this game. It's the people who you give the money to.
I mean, for me, I enjoy the game. I mean, there's still a lot more that needs to be added, but it's a good game where you can seriously just relax and just enjoy an adventure with your friends. You don't have to like try really hard, you just go do missions, quests, whatever they're called, voyages, run into other players, you have witty banter, shoot cannonballs at each other. It's just it's very stress-free. It's a stress-free game.
I feel like the missions just kind of push you into interacting with other players. They're not like the main focus of the game, even though you can play it as them being the main focus. But like just some of the interactions we've had with other players in the game is literally how can I grief this guy the game.
Oh, pretty much.
Like you literally you have to learn how to screw the other guy over to the point that you win. Basically, it's literally who can screw over the other team the most, and then they win. And with the recent like changes, they patched it today, I think, where ships, if you get your ship sunk, you respawn farther out. That way fights don't seem so endless like they have been, especially around skull forts. But the game is really fun because you just try to think of all these creative ways to mess with the other guys and to take their treasure.
Not to mention you could roleplay as your favorite pirate.
Yeah, you can make backstory for your guy. Grammy no teeth. Yeah, we all have our own pirates that we've made and personalized, and they have backstories and whatnot. It's pretty fun.
I loved when I spawn camped that guy and killed him like 4 times in a row. And I took his boat, sailed it in a circle, and just crashed it right into the island and sank it.
I like when we sunk that one guy's ship, and then he just came onto our like boat and started playing the accordion.
Yeah, he hid in our freaking hall and was playing music the entire time.
This didn't happen to me, but Ada was telling me that he was playing solo, and he was on the sloop, which is the smaller ship, and there was another sloop, and they started fighting each other, and then a galleon, which is the bigger ship, came in, and apparently the galleon was hunting down this sloop, so they literally went onto Ada's boat, commandeered it, and used it to fight the other sloop. And then once they sunk the sloop, they said thanks and went on their way. And Ada was just like, what? like but
Stole his boat.
it's stuff like that is just hilarious to think. You literally find out a way is how can I screw this other guy up. And one time, me and Ada were playing, and we had so many chests because we were just like pumping out missions and doing them. And I want to say that we had like 2 hours worth of missions done, so we had like at least like 5k gold on board. And all of a sudden, we run across this one ship. And we're like, oh, they're not there. It's a sloop. Yeah, let's just sink it. So we sunk it. And then we killed the guys that were on the island. And then when we were leaving the island with our new treasure to go turn it in, the whole entire reason of that recent nerf to respawn is so stuff like this doesn't happen. They managed to sail back to us really quickly. And we were like, well, we can't stop and fight them because, we're low on supplies. Well, we were fighting them, but it was clear that since we were both on a sloop and neither had an advantage, that it would just kind of drone on until we ran out of resources. So we're like, well, let's just sail away and see if they'll just let us be. They pursue us. They're in hot pursuit of us for the next 3 hours. We're just trying to turn in our loot to get the money, and they're still chasing us. They are pissed. They are pissed that we took their chests and sunk their ship, and they're chasing us and chasing us and chasing us. Me and Ada got to the point where we just wanted to cash in the loot at this point. So what we do is we would drive by an outpost. One of us would hop off with a chest, and they'd sell it, and then catch the mermaid to come back on the ship, while the other guy led them, away. Now, eventually, after we did that about like 4 times, we're like, this is gonna take forever. And then I came up with the idea of, oh, what if I go with a chest and yell into the mic at them, telling them that they can't catch me. I'm gonna sell the chest and go to an outpost. And so I jumped off with the chest, yelled over the mic, haha, you guys are losers. You can't catch me now. I'm gonna go sell this chest, haha. And they fell for it. They freaking fell for it somehow. And they turn into the outpost. They're waiting for me when I get there. I managed to sell that chest, and then I almost killed one guy, but being 2v1, they did manage to kill me first. And but then I just respawned on the ship, and they were so far away that there was no way they could catch us. So we managed to get away from them and sell all of our stuff. But that whole situation is
It's just the game's just worth it.
Yeah, it's fun. Like, even running for 3 hours, me and Ada had a smile on our face the whole time. We were laughing and like trying to come up with these different strategies to outsmart them and whatnot. Like we turned differently to try to like gain distance, or we would be sniping them with the awful sniper rifle. Like the game has lots of possibilities, and people that say that it's there's not enough content are probably just playing to the missions and don't look at the PvP aspect and the vast amount of map there is. Like, there is so many different islands and stuff you can explore. And like I played for like 2 weeks now, And then we found that one cave yesterday, and I never saw it before, and it was cool. Not to mention, the game looks gorgeous. It is a beautiful game with
The water looks great.
the
Yeah, I was about to say
water
the
is
water. Oh my god.
it is the best water I've seen in a video game. It's almost like real water.
It sounds really silly, but it's really nice.
Sometimes it's nice to just sit there on the edge of your boat looking at the scenery because of how wonderfully Rare crafted this landscape and made it feel good to explore, you know?
Also, you can get drunk and play your instrument, and it's really out of tune. I love doing that. You just
There's
stab
so
all
many
over the
funny
ship.
things you can do in that game that aren't directly playing it, that it makes it worth it in my opinion. So you're gonna yeah.
I think it's like worth it, like friends. I don't know if I could like justify the $60, and it is $60. The $60 purchase with like a loan or like with randoms. You should like probably play this with like a friend or two or three.
And even then you have to have the right friends, because I know Richard was playing with his real life friends, and apparently he did not have fun with them at all because they probably were playing to, you know, try hard or something. I don't know. And this is a very like He-Man said, it's a very turn off your mind, just roll with it type of game. And if you focus too much on an objective, you're not going to enjoy it as much.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
there's
don't think you
there's
won't
like
enjoy it at
no
all.
real progression in the game either. Like there's like no real reason to try hard. Like
I
try hard
mean-
to get what? The gold? Like to get the
Oh, I
vanities?
want legend. Like, even getting legend isn't that big of a deal, I don't think. Like, you get to go to the legend lounge and get the ghost set if you play more. Like, just sit back, relax, you know, and play the game. It's made to be a fun time killer, and it is.
Besides, everyone is on like the same level. Like there's no like better weapons. Well, everyone has like the same weapons, and everyone has the same like skill set and stuff like that. There's just no real reason to like go crazy with the game. All I'm saying is that like get your right round of friends, and like He-Man said, it's like a great like game to just pretend like you're a pirate. And you're sailing the seven seas with your pirate friends, and you get to play shanties and drink beer. It's nice. It's a nice game. I don't know if I could justify the $60 price tag, but at least try the Game Pass, which is like 14 days for free.
All right. Well, with that, I guess we'll move on. We're going to move into the viewer questions section of the podcast, where you ask us questions. The amount of questions has been lacking a bit recently. Feel free to ask us whatever. We answer most of them, except the ones that are really stale jokes or aren't that fun to discuss.
You can address stuff to us personally, like a question for Kennedy, or a question for Jonathan, or a question for Dylan only.
Yeah. Maybe you want to hear rules to how to be a wage slave, like He-Man is, or maybe you want to know what it's like to be the coolest guy alive, like me.
Stop.
I'm sorry, I had to.
My
All right,
God.
jokes aside,
No,
let's.
I had to do it.
Jokes aside, let's get into these questions. All right. What do you believe the youth should be taught to do in modern schools to prepare them for the future?
Oh, I know. Some simple things. Of course, people always say, "Oh, teach kids to do taxes and shit like that." But I think things like simple hands-on things like learning how to sew, like just learning how to sew a button, or how to change a tire in your car, or change your oil, or stuff like that. Like just like very simple hands-on, like that. Like we don't have to make kids, take like a full-on mechanic class and stuff like that, but like just teach a kid how to change a tire, because I didn't learn how to change a tire until recently. I felt embarrassed asking people, like I'm a full-grown man now, not knowing how to change a tire. I wish I would have learned in high school so I don't look like a dumbass. I also didn't learn how to jump. I haven't blah, 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 can't talk. I haven't learned how to jump a car until after high school, even.
What?
Yeah, because nobody tells you nothing in school.
Oh,
No
jumpstart
basic
car.
life, like no basic life stuff, man.
I thought you said
No,
like
he
jump a car,
means
like jump
Like
over it.
jumpstart a car with like jumper
Right,
no, he
cables,
right.
you
means to
know?
jump the people in the car and steal it.
Yeah, yeah, that. But I wish schools would teach people like the simple hands-on life things.
I think schools are doing just fine teaching people how to do like stuff. Like people take for granted the little things schools do. Like in high school, you have like your ID. Like you really need, like in real life or after high school, like you need your ID at all times, or else you're like fucked. And
That's
like
true.
the uniform some school have, like when you have a job, like you're gonna have to wear like a suit and shit. Like that's basically a uniform. Or when you work in retail, you have a uniform for that. I think stuff like that is like really nice that that schools are teaching like little like life lessons like that.
I honestly think that schools should have not a cotillion per se, but something kind of similar. I feel like proper common sense manners aren't stressed enough, and there are so many people I've met that are just rude
Oh
and weren't
God.
trained well to
That's just
be
people in general.
common, like decent people. Yeah, but yeah, I mean,
Etiquette class.
yeah, like some sort of etiquette class, and in that class, I feel like this has been so prevalent for me lately that I have to talk about this. But like, what was it? A formal like business email. Like, I did not know. I just went out on a limb and tried my best to write this an email to these professors. Like that sounds formal, but I was never taught that. I basically had to teach myself that today. Like not today, but like a week ago, and it's annoying because that's kind of something they might teach this in school now. There's lots of computer classes, I think, but it would be nice to know how to like write a business email, like something more formal and polite, rather than lol k I'm outside. Like
Okay. Yeah, I know what you mean though.
yeah, like because I mean it is hard to write stuff like that. Like it shouldn't be, and especially in this electronic world where email is very important for businesses, like you should be able to write a business email and know how to tone it right. And like He-Man said, taxes, whatnot, that's important. I do like the idea of teaching common household things. Like you probably get that in like a home ec class, but I don't feel like home ec is like stressed enough. Like I bet most kids that come out of high school can't even fix like a single meal besides maybe like ramen or microwave stuff. And like
That is true.
I know how to cook one meal like with raw ingredients, and it is the best feeling in the world cooking that meal, even though it's the one thing I know how to do.
The
Because
SpaghettiOs count as a meal.
no, spaghettios don't count as a meal. But yeah, like stuff like that I think would be fine to teach kids and would help them. All right. Next question. What is a ridiculous conspiracy that you believe in?
Start.
CNN crisis
I
actors.
knew.
Oh, I knew it.
CNN crisis actors. I'm not a Trump supporter or anything, but I do think CNN is fake news, and well, I mean, so is Fox. They all play it up and shit. It's every like it's just I feel like I remember seeing this thing. I mean, this was from BBC though. They had like a bunch of Muslim women protesting outside, but the way the camera angles worked, they made it seem like there was hundreds of them when really there was only like five of them holding signs. But they just had the camera up close to them, so it made it look like there was like a sea of women protesting.
Oh, like Mark Zuckerberg does
Yeah.
with his photos.
And it's just like it's just fake news, dude. It's like they play shit up. Or I remember when Donald Trump was eating fried chicken with a knife and fork, and CNN was like making fun of him for it, and they had that as like the main news headline. While meanwhile in the bottom, you know how it's like they have like the main headline, and then the bottom they scroll like other headlines for stuff.
Yeah.
So the main headline was Trump eats fried chicken with knife and fork. And meanwhile, on the bottom, it says like 35 Palestinians killed in an airstrike, and you're like, wait, what? Like, what is going on in the world? And meanwhile, you're focused on Donald Trump eating fried chicken with a knife and fork. Are you fucking kidding me?
I mean,
That's like the whole like fake news thing. It's just like really, it's like you're focusing on this when this is happening. It's
one thing that
ridiculous.
I have to say about that, I mean, we live in a world where actual TV star is our president. And I feel like when he became president, he brought along tabloid type reporting to the political sphere, which has never happened before, as far as I can remember. Like, I don't think I've ever. Like, even when Obama, like, he made his Spotify playlist with his favorite songs or whatever, no one really sensationalized it that way. Like, oh, look, he put Jay-Z on there. Like, no
It's
one.
just because like Donald Trump was like he caused such a big stir. It's like the media will do anything just to bash him and make him look bad.
They know that it'll get them numbers, and it's those numbers that
Yeah.
keep them afloat. I feel like I don't believe in crisis acting, but I do think
Well, just
I
like
do think
whole
the
fake
news.
thing, yeah.
Yeah, the news plays up everything related to Trump. And fairly so. The guy is not a very good leader. Man, am I good Lion of Sparta canceled today. But, I mean, but what do you expect when all the candidates that we're running are literal garbage?
You were all a meme.
Like, I honestly feel like the only two, like, not even good, like, they were just kind of okay candidates were, like, Bernie and, what's his name? Ohio governor guy.
John Kasich.
Kasich, that's the
Yes.
one.
Well, being from Ohio, Kasich kind of
That's why I said, yeah, exactly. They're both candidates, but they were better than anything else there.
I just know that Kasich kind of screwed over the teachers union, and that's because my dad's a teacher. So it's like Kasich kind of screwed him over in his field of work. But that's all I know about him.
All right. So, even more politics stuff here. I don't believe this necessarily, although I think it's very interesting. This conspiracy theory. So there was this guy, I forget his name. He was like the top intel gatherer for us during, I think it was
Snowden.
No, I think it was during World War II. He was like the top intel gatherer in Russia. Like he got us like exact like spots where Russia was like planning to attack, exact spots where they were setting up, exact like everything. He was the top intel gatherer for the United States against Russia. Apparently the guy wrote a book before he died that basically claimed that Russia wants to infiltrate American politics and slowly create a what's the word? A non-trusting kind of situation with the American government, and basically slowly discredit the American government from within. And, with all the news recently, it's kind of interesting that this has been a thing for a long time. I think since the 60s or something. But they basically want to destroy America from the inside out. And that theory always is very interesting to me.
Like Soviet Russia never went away.
Yeah, exactly. Part of their plan was convincing the world that they were a democracy even though they weren't, which is also kind of true. So, they wanted to show the world that they're good while discrediting America. It's a big conspiracy that, think what you want.
David Hogg is actually Putin's son.
Oh my god. What about you, Potato Nick?
There was I remember a couple weeks back there was someone said that Justin Trudeau was Fidel Castro's son, and it looked kind of real. But then I was like, no, that's fucking stupid. And I guess I just didn't believe it anymore. Could still be real, but
What about
Oh,
Avril Lavigne being a different, like, that's not the real Avril Lavigne?
I do believe that Hillary Clinton is a reptilian from the planet Saturn.
they're demons. Intergalactic demons came to possess us. It was foretold in the prophecies in the Bible. They're demons.
Oh my gosh. All right, next question then. What is a game that genuinely surprised you for good or for bad?
How am I going to discuss this without spoilers?
I'll go first if anyone.
Is if you think the ending's bad, just kind of say the ending's bad. I don't know.
Hmm.
I'll go first while Dylan is thinking about that. I know the game is meme to fucking death, but Undertale actually surprised me a lot. I didn't actually think a lot when I first saw the game on Steam. When I played it, I was like, oh man, this game's really good. I like when Sand Undertale says. But
Oh my god.
it actually is like a really surprisingly good game. Like surprisingly like had a lot of content too, even though for its low price. I'm actually kind of glad it's being ported onto Steam, and Sans Undertale is being put on Smash.
I think I know now. The Last of Us, the hit PlayStation exclusive zombie survival horror game. Man, does that game, like when you play that game for the first time, that game will take your heart and put it in a blender. Like it'll just toy with your emotions. It's insane.
I feel sad when the girl died in the game.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's lots of death, lots of loss, lots of suspense, lots of, just scary shit. It's just like I don't want to say anything because, spoilers and stuff in case anyone's never
Just say
played it. I mean, the
spoiler
the
alert, and
game's.
they can skip ahead like
Oh, that's true.
a
Okay.
minute.
Oh, all right. Spoiler alert. At the end of the summer season, where basically, Joel and Ellie, those are your characters. You meet up with these two brothers, an older brother and a younger brother, and turns out the
Brother.
younger brother got bit by a zombie, and you get bit by a zombie, you turn into a zombie. So basically, they're spending the night camping out. Joel and the older brother, I forgot the guy's name, but I'm just gonna say older brother. They spend time together. They're finally making friends. They're talking about life before the zombie apocalypse, how they used to ride Harleys and stuff, have fun, barbecue stuff. So it's like they were just now becoming like best friends. Meanwhile, Ellie and the younger brother are in the other room. The younger brother turns into a zombie, attacks Ellie. Basically, Ellie kicks down the door and the zombie pounces on him. The older brother ends up killing his younger brother, and then it's just like, that's like an oh crap moment. Joel's like, oh my god, calm down, calm down. And then the older brother just shoots himself right in the head, like right then and there. And you're just like, damn, dude. It's like, because, they were just starting to become friends and all this crap. And you're like, ah. Oh. And that's that's just one heartbreaking moment in that game. My God. I mean, I could go on and on, but that right there is just an amazing example of just how this game it'll just crush you. I mean, there are very light-hearted parts like when you're in the city and like a giraffe comes up to you and you pet the giraffe and have a good time, but then it's like, then stuff like that happens. People are getting burned alive, people are getting beheaded, lined up and shot. But then there's like, beautiful scenery and stuff, and it's just like, oh my God. It just toys with you.
For my answer, I'm gonna get made fun of for this, but honestly, League of Legends surprised me. I always avoided for years and years. I avoided playing the game because for one, I thought it was ugly, and for two, the top down thing was such a big turnoff for me at the time. I was like, no, FPS all the way, brother. But so when my friends Ben and Isaac were always talking about League, and they're like, you should play it. When I finally cracked and I played it, it took me a few games, not gonna lie. The first 2 games, I was getting the hang of it, and I didn't care for it much, but whatever. I'm playing with Ben and Isaac, my friends. And it wasn't until I played Nunu. When I played AP Nunu, and was like one-shine people with snowballs and like my ulti, and I was having a blast. And then that's when I first appreciated the game. And it went from a game that I vowed to like never touch ever to I still play it to this day. Every now and then I'll get on there and play a quick game of Udyr jungle, of Nasa's top and whatnot. And I somewhat follow esports. I somewhat follow some of the bigger YouTubers and whatnot, but I did not think I would like the game at all. It just, out of what I was playing at the time, which was FPS everything, I did not think I would like a MOBA, and I ended up liking it. So, all right, next one. If you could have a law repealed, what would it be?
Ooh.
In before Second Amendment.
Well, I mean,
I'd say
constitutional right.
speed limits, because whatever. I should be allowed to go 60 through a school zone. If those kids get in my way, it's on them. I don't know. I just like going fast in my truck. I don't like speed limits. Just have everywhere be the Autobahn. I don't care. If people get in a wreck, that's on them. Let's be real.
Any thoughts, Kennedy?
I don't have any problem with any laws. Be allowed to pee anywhere? I don't know.
I mean, if you gotta go, you gotta go. Just drop it and go. Who cares?
Just not on a playground, or you get put on a list.
It's biodegradable.
Yeah, pee. It'll just evaporate.
Yeah, it's stored in the balls.
Yeah, I was about to say, you go pee, your ball makes more, then you just go pee again, man. It's just life.
If I had to pick one, it would be I would want lesser music copyright laws. Like, if music copyright laws were lesser and artists could, like, especially rap artists, because that's, my genre, if they could freely sample songs rather than, like, basically have to beg for permission and then pay buckets of money, rap music would be so much better in the mainstream right now, I feel like. Because, like, old sampling where they have to find these obscure things to sample, that way they can sell it without having to ask and stuff like that. They have to, or, like, there are very prominent samples that, like, they have to pay buckets of money for. And then just mixtape culture in general shows, if they have, like, one of the best examples is Flatbush Zombies. Their mixtapes are hailed as, like, really, really good quality stuff, and that's because Eric didn't have to worry about paying for any of the samples he used, and could just, like, he had free reign basically because it's a mixtape. But they weren't able to sell that album, and they're not as big as they could be because of that. So when they released their studio album, and the sampling was heavily cut down, lots of people complained about the beat selection. Like, oh, these aren't like Flatbush Zombies beats. But that's just because Eric the Architect was so limited. And Another example is the Kendrick song "Cartoons and Cereals." It wasn't able to be on Good Kid, Mad City because there's no way Warner Brothers would clear all the Looney Tunes samples that were in the song. But that song is probably Kendrick's maybe arguably second best song in my opinion. Its imagery is fantastic. The beat is so like weirdly droning on and on. But because it says "and what's up doc" in it a few times, like he wasn't able to put that on the album, and it's such a great song and probably would have fit perfectly on that album. But the general public will never hear it without like specifically looking it up. And it has a few million plays on YouTube, but it's not gonna be as big as if it was, because Kendrick's Vivo has like billions of plays, I'm sure, on like Humble.
Yeah.
So
Also, another thing with music copyright, we'd be able to get JoJo's Bizarre Adventure in America sooner. Because hear me out. Because Akari, the creator of JoJo's, is a big fan of Western music, so he names the characters after Western music. For example, Yoshikage Kira in his stand, Killer Queen. Killer Queen is a Queen song, but in America they had to change it to Deadly Queen to avoid copyright, so they can't keep all the original names. But if we could, we get the Part 5 anime sooner. Because Part 5 anime has, Notorious B.I.G., The Grateful Dead. There's a whole bunch of other ones. Everyone's all named after a song, and that's the main reason why we haven't gotten it yet, is because of copyright.
yeah, copyright laws are like, I get why they're there because it'd suck having your crap stolen. But in some sense, if they're using it for an artistic purpose such as that, that's clearly a homage, or it's paying respects to it in that sense, then I feel like it should be a little more lenient. But anyway, so that's all we have for now. We'll do our song recommendations and we'll wrap it up, and hope you guys have a good week. Who wants to kick us off with song recommendations?
Oh crap! I just lost my song. I gotta look it up again. Oh wait, here it is. Okay, I got mine.
All
Mine
right.
is "What's Reminding Me of You" by Reverend Horton Heat. Now this is like a rockabilly-esque song. It's very fast-paced. It's got that 1950s vibe to it. It's a good song about breaking up with a girl, walking around, moping around, and everything he sees reminds him of her. Thing is though, it's like a sad song, but the melody is like super hyper and fast, and it's fun to listen to, even though the lyrics are like really depressing. But yeah, give it a listen. I think it's good.
All right,
All right.
I'm pressing shuffle just to see if I could. Oh, wait, that's a good song. Okay, I know what song I'm recommending.
All right.
What I'm recommending is 30,000 Megatons by Pond. Okay, yeah, by Pond, off their album The Weather, which came out last year, which I actually put on my top like 5 records last year. Guys know recently I've been talking about like the end of the world, like crisis situations and like nuclear bombs and stuff like that, because I've been having visions of the end of the world because I'm going insane. I think this song is what sparked it. The song, it's like it starts off calm, but then like eventually like ramps up and gets like heavier and heavier, like more amped up till the end, and then it gets like peaceful again. It's a it kind of signifies like 30,000 megatons. Like if you didn't know, that's a nuclear bomb or near a nuclear bomb in amount of megatons. I don't really know exactly, but yeah, it. I feel like the song like demonstrates like the process of like a nuclear bomb pretty good. It starts off like a bit calming, then it gets like amped up, and then like at the end like it gets really amped up, but then like calms down. I think that they're a really nice song. And if you didn't know, some members of Pond, it's gonna piss you guys off. Some members of Pond are also in Tame Impala. So
Oh,
win-win from my book. So 30,000 megatons by Pond. Great song.
All right, my song. It's a new song alert, guys. Fresh off the presses.
woo.
We got Denzel Curry recently released a single for his upcoming album. I think he's calling it Taboo. I don't know if he's changed that or not yet, but he released a song off it called Sumo. This song has been teased to Denzel Curry's fan base for months now. It was supposed to have Ski Mask, the Slump God, on it, but it doesn't. It's just Denzel. But man, Denzel just goes off over this like chaotic, like booming beat that is just so hype, and just he's doing his yell rap, and he's just kind of like ripping the beat in half with what he's saying. And the best part about the whole song is he makes a chowder reference. He says like he eats them up like chowder or something. No, his like AK eats them up like chowder, rada 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 rada, and it's like
Oh my god.
I can't do it justice by saying it, but the way he delivers the line is so hype, and I love that whole song is just so nice. So do check it out if you like some hype Florida rap,
Florida rap.
And
So the song I recommended, it also I just noticed this. It was actually released on SoundCloud the day Trump was elected, or the inauguration of Trump. I don't really remember, which is pretty funny.
But all right, well, that's our podcast. Thanks for joining us. If you stuck around for whatever reason, please be sure to like, subscribe, share us with your buddies. We do appreciate every view we get, every listen, and keep questions coming. Like I said,
As long as one person listening and enjoying it, then it's all right by me.
So yeah, thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Don't believe the media.
Number
See ya.
15, Burger King foot lettuce.